if you're seeing this, that means I've hit 500 YouTube subscribers. I mean, not at the time I'm recording, I'm currently sitting at 499, but I'm hoping that it's going to tick over fairly soon. And I'll be able to release this video on a timely manner. Well, I did promise something less existential in my 100 subscriber video, which was a depressing retrospective of my 4 years of failure on YouTube. But this time we're just going to have a fun Q&A video, eh? You've asked me some questions, I have them here. I'm going to answer them in an order which makes narrative sense. So, strap in, cue the nice casual stock music. Let's just have a nice relaxing time. I've got my questions, I've got my coffee in my Tim Hortons Scotland mug, and we'll just get into it, shall we? Okay, starting up with a basic one here. What was the inspiration for your YouTube channel? Well, I think my influences, at the very least, are quite obvious. I reference them a lot. Probably my biggest influence for the kinds of videos I make, especially the critique videos, is Noah Caldwell-Gervais, who just makes the top tier of game criticism as far as I'm concerned. I can only dream to live up to it, but I try my best. My other influences are obviously all the famous video essayist types, your Big Joels, your Jack Saints, Jenny Nicholson, Lindsay Ellis. One of the most common sort of starter YouTube things you'll hear is make the content that you yourself would want to watch, and that's always been kind of my driving influence. Like, I love media analysis type stuff, that's what I watch in my spare time, and so that it's obviously what I want to make as well. I mean, and saying that, I didn't start out making that. I started out making Minecraft Let's Plays, so read into that however you want, but this is what I'm doing now, and this is what I've been doing for the longest time on my channel at this point. What compelled you to start making YouTube videos in the first place? Well, I kind of touched on this in my 100 subscriber video. It's a factor of things. I always kind of wanted to make YouTube videos, I just didn't quite have the courage to do so, or I guess I had the full self-awareness that nobody cared what a teenager had to say. Like, when I was 16, I was like, to follow up on the last question, make the content you want to see. I don't want to watch teenagers play games, so I didn't want to be a teenager playing games. But when I first started making videos, I turned 18, and I'd just come out of a really messy breakup, and I viewed the YouTube channel as just kind of a way to boost my confidence. Like, nobody was watching them, but it was practiced speaking, and I was a really shy, quiet kid, and I was a really shy, quiet kid who didn't talk to a lot of people, and it was a way to express myself, I suppose. Again, they were Minecraft Let's Plays, so, Actually, no. Doing Let's Plays is a really great way to practice talking, because you just have to be talking constantly during a Let's Play. You can never have dead air. I mean, you can edit it out, but you need... If you're not talking and you're not being entertaining, then why is someone watching it? So I think, actually, I know they have a bad rap, Minecraft Let's Plays, they're like the default basic move of any beginner YouTuber, but as terms of just general practicing skills, they teach you about talking, teach you about performance, audio editing, video editing, capturing game footage. There's a lot you can learn from doing Let's Plays, even if no one's watching them. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars Resistance cartoon? I've never seen it. It's a real blind spot in my Star Wars library? We'll go with library. Star Wars Jedi Archives. It just never appealed. I knew it was aimed at younger kids, but primarily I just really don't like that art style they used for it, that weird sort of full 3D anime look. I've never been a fan of it. And it kind of seems like, everyone's giving to me it seems like everyone's giving oh crap, what's his name? Cowboy hat. I know his face, I can see his face. Producer, Dave Filoni. Everyone's crediting Dave Filoni with rebuilding Star Wars right now, But I think he and everyone else just want you to quietly forget that he was also in charge of Star Wars Resistance. Just put that one to the back of your head. Let that one sink into the shadows. Focus on the Mandalorian, on the Book of Boba Fett. You know, the good things and not the other things they made that you're not supposed to see anymore. Do you play D&D? And if so, who is your favourite character? Well, you can't make me choose between my babies. That's totally unfair. I love all of my characters equally, okay? I tell you what though, I will change this question slightly. I'm going to change it to, if I was invited on one of those live play D&D shows, which of my characters would I bring? And the answer to that one is obvious. It's Hyleus the Satar Pirate. Hyleus is a fighter, gunslinger / bard who is chaotic good despite being a pirate, because one of the gimmicks of Hyleus, and what makes him so fun to play, is that he doesn't really get what a pirate is. He just sees them as sort of brave, noble adventurers of the sea sticking it to the man, and doesn't quite get the robbing, thieving, and killing people aspect of it. But he's a precious sweetheart, and he's a bit dense, and I just love playing him, and he's always so fun, and he always has the best moments. What's your top 5 favourite films? This is a bad question for me, because I don't really watch films. I mean, obviously I watch films, but I don't watch good films, I watch garbage. I don't mean that offensively. I mean, like, I watch franchise stuff like Marvel and Star Wars and DC. I don't really watch movies, like actual artsy movies. I've never been a movie guy particularly. This is a topic of much discussion in my friend group all the time when it's like, you haven't seen X? And I'm like, no, I don't watch films. So my top 5 would all be like Marvel movies, because that's all I really watch. So it's not a great question. If you ask me top 5 video games, that would be more, I would have more to say about that, but that's not what you asked, so sorry. Actually, no, I do have an answer. My top 5 films are the 5 Hot Wheels Acceleracers movies. Look them up, they're great. What do you do outside of your YouTube channel? I'm going to assume this is like a career question, not just like what I do in my spare time, because the answer is I play video games and I watch TV. You'd never guess, really. I also play with Lego. But in terms of like what I do with my life, well, I'm currently trying to be a game designer. It's not going great. It's a very hard industry to break into, but I did a college program for game design. I'm just out of that. I'm trying to find an actual job in the industry. Before that, I did 2 years studying architecture, and then I decided I hated it and moved into game design. So that's where I'm at right now. How's the podcast going? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Hopefully I pronounced this right. Nathan Tanay? Well, the podcast is going great. I'm just waiting on my co-host to watch Discovery Season 4 so we can talk about it on an episode. Is it just duck noises, or do you have a thing against all birds? Well, as we discovered, technically I hate geese. If you're willing to share, what video essays do you have planned next? You vastly overestimate how organised I am. I don't really plan things in advance for videos. The most plan I have is I try to release at least one video a month, and beyond that, I'm just kind of scrambling for ideas. Like, I have tons of ideas for video essays. I have a huge list on my phone of just the notes of just titles of videos that I could make, and like 90% of those I'll never actually make, because I don't know, I write it down and then I think about it later and I'm like, actually, I don't have much to say about that. So generally there's like 2 kinds of videos I make. Either I've just watched something and I'm so infuriated about it that I have to make a video. This is your Book of Boba Fett videos. It's mostly Star Wars videos, to be honest, or Star Trek. Both franchises, which I have lots of problems with these days. Or I have videos where I've been like replaying a game or a movie or a show and I'm like, this is fun, I want to talk about something like this. I really don't have like a plan in place for any of these, I just do them. I think of an idea, I start writing it down, I do it. And speaking of, for the next question, do you plan on doing a Wonderlands review at any point? We'll see. I just finished the main story as I'm recording this. I haven't like done all the side quests and stuff yet. And it's fine. It's okay. It's better than Borderlands 3. I'm struggling to have any strong opinions about it, to be honest. So I'll try and write the video, but I'm not going to force myself to do it if I really have nothing to talk about. Having made many Borderlands videos, how would you rank the games from worst to best? Borderlands 2, the prequel, Tales from the Borderlands, Borderlands 3. Actually, I just played Wonderlands, so I'll add Wonderlands above original Borderlands, but below Tales from the Borderlands. Right in the middle there. That's what it is. It's fine. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking for too long. Oh no. Well, you're gonna have to deal with this for the rest of the video, because this is something I've learned. I can't record for more than 20 minutes at a time or else my voice starts to disappear. But this is okay. This is a 500 special. You're seeing the real me and my struggles and what I have to deal with. A good portion of your essays seem to focus on sci-fi. Would you consider it your favourite genre? I don't think I would. I make a lot of videos about sci-fi, which I didn't notice until I read this question. But I like all genres. I think it's just that, for the most part, sci-fi tends to have more interesting things to talk about for me. Like, I do find spaceships and laser guns more interesting than fantasy stuff. But I still like fantasy stuff. I recently watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I've been on a Lord of the Rings kick recently. So I don't dislike other genres. Maybe sci-fi is my favourite genre the more I talk about it, actually. I don't know. Genres are blurry and hard to talk about, really, because I don't really define Star Wars, for example, as sci-fi. To me, Star Wars is way more fantasy than it is sci-fi. But it also has spaceships, so genres, I don't know. Who is your favourite character in Disco Elysium? Well, I got to give the basic bitch answer, which is Kim. I love Kim. I love dry sarcasm, so he's just such a cinnamon roll. I love him. If I have to pick a character more interesting than the character everyone picks, I guess I'll go with Kuno. Kuno or Measurehead both have the funniest interactions in the whole game, I think. Their conversations are just ridiculous, and Kuno is just like this wild character to try and talk to, which is very entertaining, and Measurehead is just this ridiculous parody of phonetics and fascism, which it's really fun. I mean, obviously, it's bad, but it's a game, and you're supposed to think he's funny, so, you know, it's okay. I'm not saying I like him as a person, I like him as a character, okay?
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
What is the most annoying sound your dad makes in the garage when you're trying to make a video? Well, Dad, since you asked, it's a pretty basic answer actually. It's the garage going up and down, because my room is right above the garage, and that's by far the loudest thing. It vibrates the entire ground. This happens all the time when I'm trying to record a podcast more than videos, because with the videos I'm better at timing when you're not doing anything. But with the podcasts, I'm also based on other people's times, so I just have to grin and bear it. Well, I think that's all of the questions. The thing is, now, where are we going next? I mean, obviously I would love to get to 1,000, because that's when it becomes real, and by that I mean that's when you can monetize it. But, I mean, not to sound ungrateful for 500, this time last year I had 60 subscribers. So my channel growth this year has been insane. I have regular commenters now. That's crazy. And I am overjoyed and happy and other positive adjectives that I could keep listing over and over again. Something which I have done, which I have yet to mention to anyone, is I set up a Patreon. Because there's no reason not to. It's free. So, I mean, I have no expectations for anyone to do it. But hey, it's an option. When I get to 1,000, and I actually try and turn this into a career, then we'll talk about me actually selling out. But for now, it's like, it's there if you want to support me somehow, you know? Prove to my mum that this is a real job, damn it. So with all that said, thank you so much, and I hope you'll continue with me on this journey for the next 500. And, oh hang on, I've got one more question. Why does your voice sound like that? That's actually a really funny story, so